The landscape has changed drastically for the Golden State Warriors, a team that, for nearly a decade, commanded respect wherever it went, was swiftly and decisively eliminated from the 2024-2025 NBA postseason. The 4-1 loss to the Minnesota Timberwolves in the second round not only surprised analysts and fans, but also exposed the fragilities of a roster that was once a symbol of excellence and dominance. The defeat wasn't just about numbers. It was symbolic. The Warriors' early exit sparked deep questions about the team's structure, its aging stars, and, most importantly, the path the franchise intends to take moving forward. Amid so many question marks, one name stands out among the remaining pieces: Jonathan Kuminga. The young forward's journey represents, in a way, a reflection of the Warriors' current moment. Selected 7th overall in the 2021 draft, Kuminga had an inconsistent start. His early years in the league were marked by ups and downs, criticism, and doubts about his adaptation to the professional game. Many viewed him as a long-term project, one that perhaps didn't have space on a team full of veteran stars seeking immediate victories. But time passed, and with it came evolution. This season, Kuminga made a considerable leap. Averaging 15.3 points per game, even with limited minutes, he proved efficient, aggressive, and ready to take on responsibility. In the decisive games against the Timberwolves, while the veterans struggled with injuries or declining performances, Kuminga shined. He scored 30, 23, and 26 points in the last 3 games of the series. Starting in some matchups and coming off the bench in others, he showed maturity, composure, and, above all, real potential. These performances did not go unnoticed. From a promising prospect to a present-day contributor, Kuminga became one of the few bright spots in a dark stretch for the Warriors. And that's precisely why his future has become a primary focus for the front office and the specialized media. With his contract nearing expiration, the question isn't just whether the player wants to stay. The real doubt revolves around something more complex. Can the Warriors afford to keep him? The franchise's financial reality is a significant obstacle. With astronomical salaries already clogging the league's salary cap, offering Kuminga a competitive contract while maintaining the current core will be a real challenge. Stephen Curry, even at age 37, remains the team's most important player and will earn nearly $60 million next season. Jimmy Butler, a recent addition with a massive contract extension, adds further financial pressure on the front office. At the same time, Kuminga is no longer a developmental player waiting for sporadic minutes. He wants and needs a larger role. The problem is, will there be space for him on a team still centered around established veterans? Internally, the franchise faces a crossroads. Keeping Kuminga would be a bet on youth, energy, and longevity. Letting him go might mean giving up a cornerstone of the future in exchange for more immediate reinforcements, or simply because they can't offer him what he desires. Draymond Green, a vocal and influential locker room figure, was diplomatic when commenting on the situation. His words, however, carried weight. JK is at that contract stage. I always root for the best for him, whether that's here or on another team. Behind this neutrality lies a clear message. Not even the players know what to expect in the immediate future. And now more than ever, the front office must make swift and accurate decisions. But the Kuminga case is only one part of the equation. The larger context is even more complex, involving ambitions that go beyond keeping young talent. The Golden State Warriors, even in a transitional moment, are eyeing a move that could completely change the course of the NBA. The possible arrival of Giannis Antetokounmpo. Yes, the Milwaukee Bucks star, twice named the league's most valuable player, may be on the verge of changing teams. Frustrated with the lack of results in Milwaukee and the franchise's struggle to build a competitive roster around him, Giannis is beginning to consider new directions, and the Warriors, even after an early playoff exit, are one of the most interested franchises in his talent. As remote as it may seem, this possibility is beginning to take a more concrete shape as rumors circulate behind the scenes of the league. ESPN journalist Brian Windhorst was among the first to shed light on Golden State's interest in the Greek star. According to him, the Warriors' front office is already internally discussing trade scenarios, which would likely involve a combination of draft picks, young players, and possibly veterans. For such a trade to happen, however, one point is crucial. Giannis must explicitly express his desire to leave the Bucks. There are still 2 years remaining on his contract, making any immediate departure more complicated. But NBA history shows that when a star of that caliber wants out, it's rare for a franchise to hold on to him for long. From Golden State's perspective, what lies ahead is a unique opportunity. Alongside Stephen Curry, Giannis would form one of the most intriguing duos in recent memory. On one side, one of the greatest shooters of all time. On the other, an explosive athlete, dominant on defense, and with a physical presence matched by few in the league. Giannis's arrival would redefine the franchise's direction, and the NBA's too. But of course, everything comes at a price, and that price might include Jonathan Kuminga. To make a deal of this magnitude viable, the Warriors would need to part with young, promising assets. Kuminga, given his age, recent performance, and potential, is one of the team's most valuable assets. Brandon Podziemski, another rising young player, could also be included in the package. And that's where the dilemma emerges. Is it worth sacrificing the future for an immediate shot at a title? From a technical standpoint, few doubt the potential of a team led by Curry and Giannis to reach the top. But in terms of sustainability, letting go of players like Kuminga could leave a difficult void to fill in the years to come. Coach Steve Kerr would face the task of quickly adapting the team's playing style. Accustomed to constant motion, spacing, and long-range shooting, the team would need to reorganize to maximize Giannis's strengths, which rely more on direct drives and dominant paint presence. But as the saying goes, talent adjusts. And when two stars of Curry and Giannis caliber are together, it's hard to imagine it not working. On the other side of the trade, the Bucks also face a delicate moment. Keeping an unhappy star can be detrimental to the locker room. At the same time, losing Giannis means entering a rebuild. Therefore, acquiring promising young talents like Kuminga could help smooth that transition. Meanwhile, fans wait in anticipation. The offseason approaches, speculation grows, and anything can happen behind the scenes of the NBA. Now, the question that lingers is, what would you do? If you were in the shoes of the Warriors' general manager, would you risk everything for Giannis and part ways with your young core, including Kuminga? Or would you stick with the developmental bet and aim for a more gradual rebuild? This is the decision that could shape the next few years of the franchise, and perhaps the future of the league itself. While tensions simmer behind the scenes, the atmosphere in San Francisco is one of uncertainty. The Warriors' front office finds itself at a crossroads that demands swift decisions, but also surgical precision. A single wrong move could jeopardize years of planning. On the other hand, a bold and well-executed choice could return the franchise to the top of the league, even as its main stars approach the twilight of their careers. This balance between present and future has never been so delicate. Jonathan Kuminga, although still young, represents both the most fragile and most valuable link in this transition. He stands exactly at the intersection between what the Warriors once were and what they could still become. On one side, a dynasty defined by championships, experience, and a solidified identity. On the other, the need for renewal, speed, and versatility to compete against increasingly physical and athletic opponents. And that's precisely why his contract situation has become one of the most talked about topics of the offseason. Interest from other franchises is already real, albeit discreet. Rebuilding teams see in Kuminga not just a promising player, but a potential centerpiece of a new project. Competitive teams view him as an immediate contributor, capable of making an impact from day one. However, for the Warriors, keeping him carries strategic weight. Letting him go wouldn't just be a technical loss. It would, in a way, be a public declaration that the team is willing to sacrifice the future for another immediate shot at a title. That alone divides opinions among the fan base. And, according to sources close to the situation, even among members of the coaching staff and front office. There are those who argue that, with Stephen Curry and Jimmy Butler aging, the time to go all in is now. It would be the last dance of a winning core, with the addition of a dominant star like Giannis to try to relive the glory days. Others, however, believe the cycle has ended, that it's time to shift the mindset, to accept a longer but sustainable transition, valuing young assets like Kuminga and building a new competitive foundation around him. This internal division, though natural in moments of decision, creates tension. Behind the scenes, Kuminga's name comes up frequently in planning meetings. They analyze not only his technical performance, but also his attitude, work ethic, relationship with veterans, and fit with different lineups. The conclusion is nearly unanimous. He's ready to be a starter on most teams in the league. But the question still remains, will he be a starter and central piece in Golden State? Kuminga doesn't hide that he wants more. More minutes, more protagonism, more impact on the court, and rightly so, he feels he has shown enough to deserve it. The problem is that the Warriors' current structure doesn't guarantee him that without significant changes. With a healthy Curry, Butler still demanding the spotlight, and Draymond Green playing a key role on defense and in the locker room, the space for Kuminga to shine remains limited. That's where the rumors of Giannis's arrival intensify the tension even more. Because if that trade really happens, it would affect every aspect of the team: playing style, hierarchy, court spacing, and even the culture the franchise has spent years building. Giannis is an immediate impact player, but he requires deep adjustments around his talent. He changes the way the team defends, attacks, and organizes itself. And there's no doubt that upon arrival, he would take on a major share of the spotlight. That would push Kuminga even further down the rotation, if he's still part of it at all. The truth is, it's unlikely a deal for Giannis would happen without Kuminga being a key piece. And if that happens, Warriors fans will have to cope with the weight of seeing one of the few young players who has truly shown consistent development in recent years being traded. That's the cost of big bets. But it's worth remembering, the Warriors are no strangers to tough decisions. They were the ones who changed the logic of the league by betting on a style of play based on movement and three-point shooting, even when few believed in it. They were the ones who built one of the most dominant teams in history by convincing Kevin Durant to join an already star-studded roster. And they are the ones who, once again, could redefine the NBA's path by trying to unite Giannis and Curry. That's why every decision now will be scrutinized. The more conservative analysts say keeping Kuminga is the safest path. He is young, athletic, versatile, and on the rise. He represents an organic renewal, without the need to give up draft picks or dismantle the roster. Additionally, his connection with the group, his growth curve, and his adaptability suggests there's still much more to unlock. The more aggressive minds see the current window as a rare opportunity. Curry, though still brilliant, is nearing the end of his career. Butler, even with solid numbers, can no longer maintain the same pace over a full season. And Draymond, despite his defensive importance, has been affected by suspensions and injuries. In that logic, bringing in Giannis is not just desirable, it's necessary. What both sides agree on is that Kuminga can no longer be treated as a project. He is a ready player, with real market value and immediate impact. And that makes him at the same time a weapon and a trade chip, an asset of growing value that in the right hands could become an all-star in a few years. But one that, if misused or impulsively traded, could turn into a difficult regret to overcome. Off the court, the fans watch every move with anxiety. Forums, social media, and sports shows are dominated by heated debates about the team's future. Opinions are split between those who want to see the team contending for titles next season and those who prefer a slow rebuild without sacrificing young players who haven't even reached their peak yet. And in this scenario of speculation, Kuminga's name remains at the center of the discussion, because more than just a player, he symbolizes the Warriors' dilemma: continue betting on a glorious past, or begin writing a new chapter. The clock is ticking, the offseason is approaching, and with it, the decisions that will define the direction of one of the NBA's most iconic franchises in the coming years. The story is still unwritten, but one thing is certain: whatever the Warriors decide, it will echo for a long time. With the scenario boiling over, the Golden State Warriors management is moving silently behind the scenes. Although no official statement has been made, all indications are that the team's executives are divided between two very distinct paths: rebuilding around young talents or making a final big move with a superstar who can rejuvenate the quest for the title. This dilemma, seemingly technical, goes far beyond numbers on spreadsheets. It speaks of identity, of legacy, of how a dynasty that shaped the modern NBA wants to be remembered, and even more, how it intends to close this glorious chapter. The talks about Giannis Antetokounmpo, although still shrouded in secrecy, are already resonating intensely within the league. No NBA team ignores the Warriors' moves because they know what is at stake. If the Greek star really lands in California, the power balance in the West will tilt dramatically. The combination of Giannis and Curry, two of the most impactful players of the last decade, is a vision as powerful as it is terrifying for any opponent. One dominates the game with three-point shooting and creative vision. The other imposes physical presence and explosive strength from the paint to the perimeter. Together, they could transform the Warriors once again into an almost unstoppable monster. But every action generates a reaction. The arrival of a star of Giannis's caliber would force the franchise to dismantle a significant part of its structure. This inevitably includes young players, draft picks, and even veteran pieces. Kuminga and Podziemski are seen as pillars of this possible package, and the mere fact that their names are involved already affects internal morale. At practice, there is tension. In the hallways, whispers. The younger athletes know they are part of the talks, even if no one confirms it. They understand they are part of a bigger equation, and this could be either the beginning of something new or a one-way ticket out. Kuminga, for his part, has adopted a professional stance. He avoids controversial statements, focuses on training, and limits himself to saying that he will do his best wherever he is. But those close to him notice the restlessness. He knows he is finally on the upward curve of his career. He is becoming the player everyone projected, and now he could be traded at the most promising moment of his trajectory. This situation also places coach Steve Kerr in a central role. Known for his emotional balance and ability to manage egos and different generations within the locker room, he now needs to reconcile divergent expectations. On one side, the veterans with whom he has already won titles and shares a deep history. On the other, the young players who carry the hope of continuity and also expect real opportunities. Kerr has already expressed, albeit covertly, his admiration for Kuminga. In recent interviews, he highlighted his evolution, praised his tactical commitment, and made it clear he sees in him a player with the potential to become one of the league's best. But he is also pragmatic enough to understand what it means to have Giannis on his roster. Managing this duality may be his greatest challenge since taking over the team. Furthermore, there is the Curry factor. Stephen Curry is the face of the franchise, the ultimate symbol of an era that enchanted millions and rewrote the rules of the game. He still plays at an extremely high level, but time is relentless. He knows he doesn't have many elite seasons left, and for that reason, some say he has already given internal signs that he would like one more real chance to compete for titles, not out of vanity, but because he knows the cycle is near its end. And the end, for a competitor like Curry, should not be marked by early eliminations or painful rebuilds. This desire, although not publicly declared, weighs heavily. The Warriors' management understands that it cannot ignore the clamor of their greatest idol. Thus, the trade for Giannis begins to be seen not only as a sports strategy, but as a kind of reciprocation, a way to give Curry the closure he deserves, fighting to the end at the highest level. But this brings us back to the central point. What if this attempt fails? What if Giannis doesn't want to come? Or if the negotiation is blocked by values, resistance from the Bucks, or interference from other franchises? And most importantly, what to do if, after giving up young talents like Kuminga, the plan does not yield the expected results? Rebuilding would become even harder. Without picks, without youth, and with a salary cap locked by huge contracts, the team could enter a downward spiral, and in that scenario, the future would become even more uncertain. That is why the coming weeks will be defining. The Warriors' management knows that any misstep could cost years of competitiveness. But it also understands that the window is closing, and perhaps there is no other opportunity to attempt something so grand. The NBA lives on risks, and no matter how much one tries to predict every variable, the game is always unpredictable. Meanwhile, the fans live this roller coaster of emotions. Every rumor, every mysterious social media post, every public appearance by players or executives becomes fuel for speculation. The whole city seems to hold its breath waiting for the next move. And amidst it all, Jonathan Kuminga keeps training, keeps focused, keeps showing, day after day, that he is more than a promise. He is a reality. Whether he will be part of the future in San Francisco or a key piece of a new era elsewhere is still impossible to know. But one thing is certain. His name will be marked in this offseason as the turning point of a franchise that has yet to decide whether it wants to close its reign with a bang or with a quiet transition. Sotto made his return to the court in an impressive fashion, reaffirming his reputation as one of the brightest rising talents in Asian basketball. In his latest game against Kyoto, he delivered a performance that left everyone in awe. The young center recorded 20 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists, and these numbers not only reflect his technical ability, but also show the evolution of a player who is becoming more well-rounded with every game. From the first minute of the game, it was clear that Kai was determined to shine. His combination of height, agility, and technical skill made him a dominant presence in the paint, leaving opposing defenders with no options. His accuracy on mid-range shots was also noteworthy, demonstrating that he has been consistently dedicating himself to improving his game. Additionally, his court vision stood out as he distributed assists and connected with his teammates on key plays, especially in high-pressure moments. In one of the most critical moments of the game, Kai didn't hesitate to take on the responsibility. During the third quarter, he faked 2 defenders, scored a crucial basket, and to top it off, converted the free throw after being fouled. The play not only thrilled the fans, but also showed that Kai knows how to perform under pressure, a vital skill for any player with aspirations to reach the NBA. For his fans, there are many reasons to believe that the best of Kai is yet to come. He is on the verge of achieving historic milestones in the B-League. With only 76 points left to reach 1,000 points in the league, he is just a few steps away from joining a select group of players known for their offensive consistency. It's not just in points that Kai has stood out. He has already surpassed 500 rebounds, solidifying his position as one of the most dominant players in the paint, both offensively and defensively. Moreover, Kai is about to reach another important milestone. He is just 4 assists away from reaching 100 assists in the B-League, reflecting his ability to generate plays and involve his teammates in the offense. These numbers clearly demonstrate the impact Kai has on the game. His combination of physical size, technical skills, and tactical intelligence positions him as one of the most complete players in the league. Kai's consistency on the court does not go unnoticed. Experts and commentators have already started comparing him to great names in basketball, highlighting his potential to elevate the competitive level of the B-League. He is considered by many to be someone who could leave a lasting legacy in international basketball if he continues his level of progression. Kai is not content just with winning games. He wants to leave his mark on the sport. In every game, there is an increasing expectation that something extraordinary may happen when he is on the court. Whether leading his team in crucial moments or executing spectacular plays, he demonstrates that he has what it takes to stand out in any situation. When talking about Kai's future, one question always arises. Which NBA team would benefit most from his arrival? For many, the answer is obvious: the Golden State Warriors. The Warriors' fan base, known for their passion and enthusiasm, has already begun mobilizing on social media in support of Kai's signing. The Golden State Warriors, one of the most iconic franchises in the NBA, are famous for their dynamic playing style, which prioritizes quick movement, long-distance shooting, and team play. In recent years, stars like Stephen Curry have shone brightly, but to maintain that success, it is essential that all players on the team contribute. In this context, Kai Sotto fits perfectly with his unique playing style. Kai's versatility is one of his greatest qualities. He is not a typical center. His ability to read the game and make quick decisions makes him a dynamic player capable of performing in various ways. With his height and presence in the paint, he becomes a threat both defensively and offensively, something that would complement the Warriors' fast-paced and aggressive style of play. The team, which already has a powerful lineup of shooters, needs a player like Kai who can balance the team with his physical strength and rim protection. Additionally, Kai's international experience is a great asset. He has played against various basketball styles around the world, giving him a considerable advantage in adapting to the NBA, a league known for its competitiveness. His international player mentality, combined with his work ethic, puts him in a strong position to stand out on any NBA team, especially on a franchise that values excellence like the Warriors. Kai's numbers in the B-League speak for themselves. With historic milestones like 1,000 points and 500 rebounds approaching, his growth as a player is evident. This reflects not only his talent, but also his readiness for a bigger leap in his career. His transition to the NBA seems to be a matter of time, and his name is already being mentioned as one of the next big talents to arrive in the league. Kai has demonstrated that he has what it takes to excel in any league. His dominance in the paint, his ability to involve his teammates, and his ability to become decisive in crucial moments are just some of the reasons he is such a valuable player. More importantly, his work ethic and winning mentality put him ahead of other young players with similar potential. When a player like Kai Sotto enters a league like the NBA, he is not only bringing his technical skill to the next level, but also his growth and adaptation mindset. The competition in the NBA is fierce, but Kai possesses the necessary qualities to be successful. His combination of height, basketball IQ, and versatility puts him in a privileged position to make a successful transition. Kai's addition to the Golden State Warriors could represent a significant step for the franchise. Although the Warriors are already known for their offensive prowess and fast-paced play, the presence of a dominant center like Kai could further balance the team. His ability to protect the paint and grab rebounds, combined with his efficiency in finishing near the basket and shooting mid-range shots, would be a key asset in the most decisive moments of the season. In particular, adding Kai could give the Warriors the physical presence the team currently lacks. While the team has been very successful with its offensive and high-rotation approach, a strong center in the paint could further solidify the defense and guarantee valuable second-chance opportunities on offense. In the playoffs, where defenses intensify, Kai's presence could make all the difference. His ability to quickly adapt to a competitive team like the Warriors is also a major advantage. He would not only be a reinforcement in the paint, but also contribute with his court vision, tactical intelligence, and offensive skills. With a mindset focused on continuous improvement, Kai would fit perfectly in an environment like the Warriors, where teamwork and constant evolution are essential. The excitement among Golden State Warriors fans is palpable. The social media campaign calling for Kai Sotto's signing grows every day, and many believe he could be the missing piece for the team to reach the top of the NBA again. Kai has become a sensation, not only for those who follow the B-League, but also for NBA fans, who see in him the potential to be a future star. Kai's impact on the court is evident. His ability to dominate the paint, defend with authority, and create opportunities for his teammates would be a strategic addition to any team. For the Warriors, having a player like Kai could mean not only bolstering the defense, but also bringing balance to their offensive playing style. With him on the team, Golden State could become an even more formidable force. But Kai's impact goes beyond the court. Off the game, he has proven to be a model of dedication and perseverance for many young players, especially in the Philippines. His journey, from his first steps in basketball to his rise in the B-League, is an example of perseverance. Kai is more than just a talented player, he is an inspiration, and that makes him an icon, not just in basketball, but also for the youth who see him as a role model. He has been an example of commitment, not only to the sport but also to his country. And with that, he has gained a fan base that extends beyond basketball. His ethical stance and collective mindset are some of the qualities that make him the type of player the Golden State Warriors would need to complete their search for the perfect balance between offense and defense. Sotto has already proven that he has what it takes to stand out in the NBA. His ability to adapt to any playing system, his technical skills, and his growth mindset make him a valuable addition to any team in the league. Whether with the Golden State Warriors or another team, the young center has the potential to become one of the biggest NBA stars in the future. If you enjoyed this content and want to stay updated on more, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. That way, you won't miss any news and will help us continue bringing more amazing videos to you. See you next time.